Hello, my name is Blake Patterson, and welcome to Real Values. On this week's episode, I discuss Chloé Zhao's Hamnet. In the second act of Hamnet, Bartholomew Hathaway, played by Joe Alwyn, tells Agnes Shakespeare, played by Jessie Buckley, the following after entering William's room in London: "Keep your heart open." Although the line specifically concerns William's state since Hamnet's death and his choice to name his upcoming play Hamlet, the line could also apply to the audience that sees Zhao's new film. Like the historical fiction that inspired it, Hamnet is a work of magical realism where Zhao incorporates what she has learned as a Malick descendant and applies those characteristics within a classicist framework that addresses the audience more. Even though her camera work here is more fixed, like the central narrative, some might immediately think of Zhao's love for the New World, which is looser and more spontaneous in technique when watching her depiction of scenes where a character, especially Agnes, is having a relationship with the nature around her. The natural elegance of nature is juxtaposed with the glum interiors to represent a friction between being a free spirit outside and traditional within a formal setting. There are creative choices Zhao makes that some viewers will likely find off-putting, but they will contribute to an evolution toward a beautifully transcendent conclusion for those who follow its wavelength. For the first third of Hamnet, I was not entirely sure how I would respond to the film as a whole, because Zhao and her co-writer Maggie O'Farrell, who also wrote the novel, rushed through the early stages of Agnes and William's relationship without feeling any love they have for each other. Buckley and Paul Mescal are convincing individually in their attitudes toward each other, but it feels like a dramatic leap in how it transitions from them being acquaintances to lovers. Where Zhao's film takes off is when Agnes and William become parents, because Zhao and O'Farrell's investment in the family Agnes and William create is richly palpable. When a pregnant Agnes walks to the forest and gives birth to her daughter, Susanna, while lying down against a tree, the magical realism of Zhao's film begins in how Agnes's relationship to nature gives life and health to her newborn daughter. As the family grows, the sense of joy Agnes and William feel with their children is emotionally authentic, as if the memories they were creating were as resonant as the plays William writes, even when he struggles with writer's block. When Agnes and William's two twins are born, Judith and Hamnet, the situation contradicts Agnes's notion of having two children at her deathbed, and the unexpected twin makes her believe during the pregnancy that she will die like her mother in that moment. To Agnes's surprise, all is well with her and the two children, including the initially noiseless Judith, until she makes the quietest sounds. What is unique about the twins' birth scene is that no umbilical cord is involved, but the decision conveys a sense of foreboding regarding Judith and Hamnet's eventual dynamic, where the brave Hamnet decides to save the ill Judith by dying, which solidifies William's expectation for his son to be brave. There is a connective tissue to the choices Zhao makes that might not initially make sense in terms of realism, but makes more sense as you think about them. When Zhao confronts Hamnet's tragedy, she is certainly direct in capturing Agnes and her family's fear and eventual devastation. Buckley delivers a performance from the pit of her stomach, and the pain she feels is genuine in what she brings to the surface through her character's grief. We see and feel the pain in her eyes as she has not only been shattered but also been worn out by Hamnet's death and her anger toward William for being away. When we initially hear mispronunciations of Agnes's name, we might think it is an accident until it becomes clear that there is an underlying theme of the insignificance Agnes feels as a mother and woman during this overbearing time in her life, which Buckley illustrates in her frustrations toward William and others, including her stepmother. Paired against Buckley, Mescal evokes the haunted depths of a man who has processed his grief differently through the words that he has written on the page and how his actors express them in rehearsals. One rehearsal sequence, when William is becoming angrier, allows Mescal to externalize a rage that complements an earlier scene of writer's block at night to depict a man and artist at conflict with himself. As William considers committing suicide, he thinks of the famous monologue "To Be or Not to Be" as an expression of what he is feeling about himself and his life after Hamnet's death. If this sequence were clumsier in its handling, it might be as cornball as the other moves if they were also mishandled. There is a clear-eyed and vulnerable sincerity to what Zhao and her leads bring to this material, and the supporting actors, including the great Emily Watson as William's initially unsupportive but eventually compassionate mother, Mary, and sublime child actors, commit to their roles without going overboard emotionally. Once Agnes attends a performance of Hamlet in London to confront William for exploiting their son's name by changing one letter, Zhao choreographs a heartfelt portrayal of how art can bring wounds to the surface and heal them through the emotions it conjures. By casting Jacoby Jupe as Hamnet and his older brother Noah Jupe as the actor playing Hamlet with blonde dyed hair, Zhao achieves this effect through Buckley's reactions to Hamlet and how William's role in the play conveys how he is as heartbroken as she is over Hamnet's death. In brief moments, including a powerful one during this scene, Zhao creates an alienated vision of purgatory for Hamnet in his wish to be with his mother. As Hamlet dies near the edge of the stage, Agnes reaches forward to touch his hand, and the audience reaches their hands out due to the power of the performance. Through this moment, Agnes sees a sad Hamnet smiling and walking behind him through a hole that resembles the mystical cave next to the tree in the forest, as if he were finally entering the afterlife. For the first time since his death, Agnes laughs and quietly smiles. Through these touchingly felt moments, Zhao presents the overwhelming depth of art's ability to heal someone amid the most punishing conflicts with the inclusion of Max Richter's popular piece on the nature of daylight and reclaims it on its own terms. The conclusion is so powerful in its acting and choreography that we are not only tearful, but feel the happiness that has now washed over Agnes. Hamnet might not be the masterpiece many called it after its premiere at the Telluride Film Festival, but its beauty and tragedy are genuinely resonant and linger with you afterward. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great night.